Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make another YouTuber statue. This time, I'll be showing you how to make SmallishBeans. By the way, just in case you have any more building related needs, I would highly recommend checking out the card system, not only for all of the videos and playlists I'm going to be linking there, but for one very specific video. If you haven't already made LD Shadow Lady, these two in my mind go as a pair, so you might want to build both of these together. If not, up to you, just saying she's in there if you want her. That's more than enough talking. If you want to make SmallishBeans, here's what you're going to need. Grab yourself some orange stained clay and some lime stained clay. Grab green stained clay, some brown stained clay, flip over, grab yourself some dark grey wool, some light grey wool, white, and finally grab yourself some dark green wool. And those are the only materials that we're going to be needing. So once you have each one of those, and once you've figured out where you want to make them, I'll be making them right here. You're going to want to kick off Mr. Beans with a row of 8 dark grey wool in a row on the floor. That's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like that. Then, stacked directly on top of this row of 8, stack 2 additional rows of dark grey. So that'll be 1. And that will be 2 stacked directly on top. Then, for the next 3 rows, stack 3 rows of orange stained clay. That's 1, 2, and 3. And we just want to do 1, 2, and that will be 3. Then, for the next row, do, going from left to right, 2 orange stained clay, then 4 white wool, then 2 orange stained clay. For the next row, do 1 light grey, 1 orange, then 1 light grey, 2 white, 1 light grey, 1 orange, then 1 light grey. For the next row, do an entire row of light grey wool. Then for the next row, do 1 white, 1 light grey, 1 white, 2 light grey, 1 white, 1 light grey, 1 white. Then for the next row, do 1 light grey, 1 dark green, then 4 brown stained clay, 1 dark green, 1 light grey. For the next row, do 1 dark grey, then 6 white wool, so that's pretty much all but the end block, and then place another dark grey wool down. Then for the next row, do an entire row of light grey wool. For the next row, do 1 white, 3 light grey, 4 white. For the next row, do 2 white, 1 light grey, then 5 white wool. For the next row, do 4 white wool, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do 1 light grey, then 3 white wool. For the next row, do an entire row of light grey wool. For the next 3 rows, do 3 brown stained clay, that's 1, 2, 3, 2 light grey, then 3 brown stained clay. And like I said, that's for 3 rows, so we'll just add 2 layers of the light grey, and then we'll add 2 layers of the brown stained clay. There we go. Then for the next row, do an entire row of brown stained clay. Then for the next row, do 3 brown stained clay, 2 light grey, 3 brown stained clay. For the next row, do 2 brown stained clay, 1 light grey, then 2 lime, then 1 white wool, then 2 brown stained clay. For the next row, do 1 brown stained clay, 1 white wool, 4 lime clay, then do 1 white wool, 1 brown clay, to give you something which should look a little bit like this. And whilst we are still up here, continuing to go right from that last brown stained clay block that we placed, go right by 1 with the brown stained clay, 2 with the white, then 1 with the light grey. Then underneath this row of 4 that we have here going from left to right, do 1 brown clay, 1 white, 2 light grey. For the next row, do 1 brown clay, then 3 white wool. For the next 2 rows, do 2 rows of white, so that'll be 1 and that'll be 2. For the next row, do 3 white wool, 1 light grey. For the next row, 2 white, 2 light grey. For the next row, do an entire row of light grey. Then do 4 rows of lime stained clay, so that'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to give you SmallishBeans' first arm, which is his right arm. That's exactly what it should look like. Once you have that first arm taken care of, we can now move on to the next arm. So coming all the way over to the top left hand corner now, going left of this brown stained clay, we want to do 1 brown stained clay, then we want to do 2 white wool, then 1 light grey. So coming down from this, going from left to right, we're going to be building up rows again. So for the first row, we want to do 2 light grey, then 1 white wool, 1 brown stained clay. For the next row, do 3 white wool, then 1 brown clay. Then for the next 2 rows, do 2 solid rows of white, so that'll be 1 and that'll be 2. For the next row, do 1 light grey, 3 white wool. For the next row, 2 light grey, then 2 white wool. For the next row, an entire row of light grey wool. For the next 4 rows of lime stained clay, that's 1, 2, 3, and that'll be 4. And that will give you pretty much the entire front of your SmallishBeans statue. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like that. Once you've got the front taken care of, it's now time for us to move around to the back of this thing. So come all the way around to the back of your statue, come all the way down to the bottoms of the feet, take out your dark grey wool and extend out each one of the back 2 corners of the bottoms of the feet, each by 3 with your dark grey. That's 1, 2, 3, and that will be 1, 2, 3. Connect each one of those third blocks together, and that will give you the platform to build up the rest of the statue. We're going to be building the entire back of the statue up on top of these 8 back dark grey blocks here. We're going to be building up the entire back, then we'll do the sides, then we'll do the head, then we'll be done. So, building up on top of this back row, we want to stack 2 rows of dark grey wool. So that'll be 1, and that will be 2. Then do 3 rows of orange stained clay. So that'll be 1, 2, and 3. And now we've just got to fill these in. That's 1, 2, and that will be 3. For the next row, do 1 orange clay, then 2 light grey, then 2 orange clay, 2 light grey, 1 orange clay. For the next row, do 3 light grey, 2 white, 3 light grey. For the next row, do 1 light grey, 6 white wool, 1 light grey. For the next 2 rows, do 2 solid rows of white, so that'll be 1, and this will be 2. For the next row, do 1 brown clay, 1 dark green, then 4 white wool, 1 dark green, 1 brown clay. For the next row, do 1 white wool, 6 brown stained clay, 1 white wool. For the next row, do an entire row of white wool. For the next row, do 2 white wool, 1 light grey, then make the rest of the row white wool. For the next row, do 1 white wool, 4 light grey, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then do 3 white wool, and that'll be the row. For the next row, do an entire row of light grey wool. Then, for the next 6 rows, do 6 solid rows of brown stained clay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we've just got to fill all of these in. It will take us a second. This is the back of his jacket, so let's just fill all of these in. I've realised that I've just placed a block accidentally on the back. We can just destroy that, and there we go. We have our 6 rows of brown stained clay. For the next row, going from left to right, do 1 brown stained clay, then 6 lime stained clay, 1 brown, to give us this. Once you have that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So we're now going to do both of the arms. Both of the arms are actually very, very similar to the fronts of the arms, except they're different enough that we actually have to tutorial them instead of copying them. So going right of this last brown stained clay that we placed, do this sequence of blocks. Do 2 brown clay, then do 1 white wool, 1 light grey. Then for the next row, starting from underneath us, going from left to right, do 2 brown clay, 2 light grey. Then for the next row, do 2 brown clay, 2 white wool. For the next row, do 1 brown clay, then 3 white. Then do an entire row of white wool. For the next row, do 3 white wool, 1 light grey. For the next row, do 2 white wool, 2 light grey. For the next row, do an entire row of light grey wool. And then do 4 solid rows of limestone clay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've just got to do that to all of those rows. So the lower half of the arm is actually identical to the front half of the arm as soon as you get past that brown stained clay part, but it's different enough that we actually have to talk about it. So that's the first arm taken care of, guys. Let's move on to the opposite arm. So coming all the way up to the opposite side where we have this brown stained clay, going left of this we want to do 2 brown stained clay, then 1 white wool, 1 light grey. For the next row, going from left to right, do 2 light grey, 2 brown. For the next row, do 2 white wool, 2 brown stained clay. For the next row, do 3 white wool, 1 brown stained clay. For the next row, do an entire row of white wool. Then for the next row, do 1 light grey, 3 white wool. For the next row, do 2 light grey, 2 white wool. For the next row, do an entire row of light grey wool. Then do 4 rows of limestone clay. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we've just got to fill these rows in now. To give us something which should, in total, let's take a look at the back of this thing. To give us something in total which should look a little bit like this. And this is the back of your statue, 100% complete. All we have to do now is move on to the sides of the statue and the head, and we'll be done. So once you've got that taken care of, come all the way over to this left-hand side of the statue. And starting all the way down at the bottom of the legs here, this is what we have to do. So what we basically want to do here is we want to match whatever colour we have on the right hand side of us to the 2 empty spaces that we have in the centre here. So you can see here where we have a dark grey wall, match that colour to the centre blocks. Where we have orange stained clay, match that colour to the centre blocks. Here we have on the right of us light grey wool, match it. Where we have white, match it. You see this light grey wool? Match it. Where we have dark grey wool, match it. Simple enough. Do that coming all the way across the back of the statue. Once you've done that, we now want to come all the way up to the arms, so fill the bottom of the arms in with light grey stained clay first of all. We then want to apply the same strategy to the arms, so where you have light green, do light green, where you have light grey, do light grey, where you have white, do white, then a light grey again, and coming all the way up to the top of the statue, we want to have this. And what do we want to do here? Well, we have to fill in the first 3 rows, and to do that we want to do 2 rows of white, followed by 1 row of brown stained clay. And that's what we want to have at the top of the statue. So once again, basically doing the whatever block is on the right of us and throwing that in the middle, same strategy there. Once you have got the side of the statue taken care of, it should look like a load of stripes. We then want to move on to the opposite side of the statue, and we want to do the same thing, except this time it is of course the block that we have on the left hand side of us. So dark grey wool, then orange stained clay, then light grey wool, white wool, light grey, dark grey wool. Then we have lime stained clay here for the bottom of the arm, then rows of lime clay, then light grey wool, white wool here, then light grey wool. Moving up to the top, we have white wool for 2 rows, don't we? And then we can see here that we have brown stained clay, and that will be the top of the arm, and that will also be that side of the statue completed. Once you've got the body completed, it's now time for us to take care of the head. So come all the way to the front of the statue and come all the way up to the top of the body. On top of the 8 original blocks of the body, you want to stack a row of 8 lime green clay. So right there, you guys can see what we're talking about. It wants to be right there. Then extend this row of 8 lime green clay out by 2 rows. So that'll be 1 and 2 rows of lime green stained clay coming out in front of the statue like so. We then, for the next row, want to do, going from left to right, do 2 lime clay, then 1 dark green clay, then 2 white wool, green clay, 2 lime clay. For the next row, do 1 lime clay, then 1 green clay, then 4 white wool, 1 green clay, 1 lime clay. For the next row, do 2 lime clay, 4 green clay, 2 lime clay. Then for the next row, do an entire row of lime green stained clay. For the next row, do 1 lime clay, 1 white wool, 1 dark green wool, then 2 lime clay, then 1 dark green, 1 white wool, 1 lime clay. For the next row, do 1 lime clay, 2 green, then 2 lime, 2 green, 1 lime. And for the next row, do an entire row of lime green stained clay to give you something which should look a little bit like this. And you might realize that this isn't really how the face should look. Well, what we want to do is this. So we now want to take these first few rows of the face, 1, 2, and 3 rows of the face, and we want to extend them coming out of the front of the statue by 1 row. So take every single block in this row and just extend it coming out of the statue by 1 row. Do that to the first 3 rows, so where you have the top of the teeth. Also, you want to do the same thing with the row of green stained clay just above the teeth as well. And there you have kind of like Shrek's mouth, SmallishBeans' mouth coming out of the front of the statue. Once you've got that taken care of, we can now move on to the next bit. So, what we now want to do is take out our lime green stained clay, come all the way around to the back of the head, and we want to extend this first initial row of the head over the back of the statue until it overhangs the back of the statue by 2 rows. Simple enough, isn't it? Front of the head overhangs 2 rows, or in this case 3 rows rarely, but the back of the head only overhangs 2 rows. Take the back 2 corners, raise them up until they are equal height with the very front of the head, connect them together, connect them to the front of the head, and you'll end up with a nice cube shape, which is exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for a nice cube shape. But we're not done. Once you have your cube shape, you then, starting from the left hand side of the head here, starting from the very top right hand corner of the empty space, so right here, this block, you want to go left of this by 1 the lime green wool, or lime green clay I should say, then 1 the dark green clay, come down by 1 the green clay, left by 2, up by 1 to form a U shape, then take this bottom center block and extend it down by 1 to form like a Y shape. Fill the center of this in with lime stained clay, and that will be that. That's all you have to do. Pretty simple if you ask me. Just saying if you ask me. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like this. Do that to one side and do it to the opposite side. So we're now coming to the opposite side here. We're now going to, starting from the top left hand corner of the empty space, go right by 1 the lime clay, then 1 dark green, come down by 1, right 2, up 1. Take the bottom center block, extend it down by 1, fill the rest of the area in with lime stained clay. Not only fill this area in with lime stained clay, fill the very back of the head and fill the top of the head in with lime clay, and that will be that, guys. That's it. That's all you have to do. That is all you have to do. Easy enough, isn't it? Not too difficult. That'll be the head done. That'll be the statue done. There's nothing more to add after this. That is all you have to do. So we're going to complete this, and then we can talk about it a little bit. So this is SmallishBeans. That is his statue 100% fully completed. It's looking pretty good. I'd like it if the skin was a little lighter, but lime green wool looks a little weird, so we had to use the clay. Hopefully you like this statue. Hopefully you've managed to make it. And if you've done both of those things, please give this video a like, a favourite, a share if you wouldn't mind. Comment down below. What would you like me to make next? Who, what, where, when? Tell me what you want me to make next. Also, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I do plenty of statues, plenty of tutorials, one every single day, just about every single day. New video every single day if nothing else. Subscribe if you haven't already. You'll probably enjoy what comes out. Check out the card system for not only LD Shadow Lady, but I'll be also leaving my YouTuber statue tutorial playlist in there, plus a couple of other videos that I think that you guys might like. And that is pretty much it. Like, favorite, share if you haven't already, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't. Card system, check that thing out if you want to make LD Shadow Lady, among other things. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.